Hello everybody, it's Garrett from GCF Gaming, and today I'm going to be showing you guys the Spyderco Manix version 2 XL G10 in black. God, that was a mouthful, and it's actually the XL as well. But basically this was just something I had on my list for a while. I've been wanting to review this, but I didn't have it. But you know, Christmas rolls around, and my wonderful parents got this for me. So real quick, let me just show you. This thing it opens very smooth, and it is a big blade, as you can hear. Sorry, I'm filming in my room, and the computer in here is very old, so you might hear it making some noises. Anyways, the overall length is 8 inches, 8.94 inches, so almost a 9-inch blade. It's very, very large. The blade length is 3.85 inches. The blade steel is CPM S30OV. Now I know people have like different names that they'll call it, but that's I guess the longer version. Length closed 5 inches, 0.09. You can just round that. I would round that down to just 5 inches. The blade thickness. This is a really thin blade, actually. You can see very well on the camera how thin that is. It's really thin. Now it does get a little bit less as you come up, but seriously, it's super thin blade. 0.125, guys. That's a very thin blade. The handle material is the G10 part, which I love. It makes the blade, guys. I didn't know what to expect until I kind of got it in my hand, but it feels so nice. And then they have gimping on the blade, which I don't know. Yeah, you can see it with the camera. But they also have some gimping in the handle, and it feels so good. And yeah, this thing is it doesn't really matter for me. I've got kind of big hands, but it fits perfectly anyway. So very, very nice handle and handle material. The cutting edge, 3.37 inches, or 3.36 inches, I mean. And the weight overall is 5.2 ounces. So some people, I don't know, people get weird about the weight, but I think this is a very good weight for a blade of this size. Like if you want something smaller, or if you want something that weighs less, I would just go with, a blade that's smaller. But for me, I kind of like these big, bulky blades, So this was the knife for me. I think this is now the biggest folder that I have in my collection. So yeah, so I haven't really gotten to use this thing too much, but let me see. I know I've got some stuff I can cut with it. This is always the tricky part, is trying to show this to you guys on camera, but yeah, be right back. Alright, we're back, and I've got some, oh god, this is gonna, I need to get a separate mic for the camera. I'll be doing that later at some point. But yeah, we've got some paper here, and let's just see. Oh man, this is hard to do with the camera angle and everything, but let's just see how this goes. I'll try to like turn it down or something, because I know it's gonna flare up on the camera, but so yeah, as you saw, those first 2 cuts were pretty easy, and the third one, it got stuck a little bit. But as you can see, even when it got stuck, it didn't really cause too much damage to the paper. It's just a little bent there, which is kind of hard to show on the camera, but yeah, you can just straighten it out. And these first 2 cuts are ridiculously clean. I mean, you could, right here at the bottom, you can barely even see that it got cut unless you pull it apart. Yeah, it's a very, very, very sharp blade, and that's just out of the box. If you sharpen it up a little bit yourself, you can feel free to do that. The one thing I'll say I like about this blade, one second, let me move the lighting a little bit. Sorry, so I have another Spyderco knife that's still a very large blade, but instead the handle is fiberglass, and it has, instead of like this one, Also the blade is not, it's reflective, as you'll see right there. That blade's gonna reflect light. This is non-reflective. But the reason I wanted this one opposed to this one, and I ended up getting both. They're both very nice knives, but some people are cool with this locking mechanism right here. Well, you push it and the blade will drop. But what has happened is I don't really ever use knives like that. I mean, I've got quite a few, but I mean, I don't carry them very often. But when you close it, sometimes this model in particular has, you know, kind of just come up all the way and clip my my index finger a couple times. Maybe you can see that on the camera, I don't know, probably not. But yeah, it's clipped me on the finger a couple times, and so I don't really like those kind of closing knives. But this one instead has this kind of lock up here, which is kind of similar, but you can flick it like that and it'll go about halfway, and then you can close it the rest with your finger. And I've got hold up, I got one more knife to show you actually, with a similar locking mechanism. Sorry about that. This one has almost an identical locking mechanism here where you can flip it out, only it's much, I've used this one a lot more. See, sorry about that guys, I flicked it open and I accidentally hit the cabinet there, but you can, over time this thing gets a little bit like more smooth. You can flip it out all the way, and you can flip it back in all the way, which I can't do with this amount of space, but it's very easy to do off camera, which sucks. You can kind of see it in the shadow there. If I had a lot. If you have more space though, it's a lot easier to do. You don't have to get that kind of weird motion I've got going on right there. But yeah, so I like those locks a lot more. Man, this video went a lot longer than it was supposed to, but I really like this knife, and if you guys are big knife fans, I would encourage you to go and check that knife out. It's a very nice one. Anyways, Garrett from GCF Gaming. Hope you guys had a nice holiday thing. I'm going to talk about that later in another video. And yeah, see you the next time. Peace out.